I know you feel it too. You feel it too. I know you can't take it when I'm around you. I can feel it. Don't you try to slip away, babe. I'll explore every inch of you. Baby, I kiss the fire on you. 'Cause you're bound to me. I know you want me, every piece of me. The flame burning inside, craving for more. I know you can't take it, baby, just let it go. I've got my eyes on you. What's going on, guys? We are back again for another streaming session. It's Sunday night. We got a fresh new week ahead, big week ahead. We got earnings kicking off, CPI data, PPI data. But earnings season is going to be the number one thing that's going to be, the market's going to be waiting for that, looking forward to that. That's what's going to be driving us. So that's everything really we're going to be focusing on is setups and, the earnings, how is that going to go? Well, first, this week is going to be banks, and then tech really starts kicking it off. So this week should be kind of a chiller, mild week, and then we're going to start getting into some of that action, right? Next week or into mid-January, end of January stuff. So going to be pretty cool, pretty exciting. So I'm ready for it. Let's give it a couple minutes and let's get it going with this streaming session. If you're watching this, just tuning in, show some love, retweet the stream. Let's get it out there. Let's get at least 50 people in here and we'll get it kicking off. I want at least 200 people here tonight. So let's do it. I want at least 200 people here tonight. Let's go. All right. Show some love, retweet the stream. Let's get it out there. 50 people here and we'll get it going. We're seeing futures pretty red here after hours or overnight, right? Starting overnight. We saw gold, silver rocketing to new all-time highs there. That's pretty cool. So maybe that's kind of why. Also, I think maybe the market, anytime we have CPI that next week and we run kind of to those highs on Friday, it's always likely that we never break those highs until CPI, right? Until we have that catalyst that's going to move us. So you can really see where we kind of ran it up to that last, what was that, on the 7th? We ran it up there. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So Wednesday's highs for MNQ just kind of rejected that same area. SPY made new highs, obviously, and we're pulling back down. But good kind of like dip so far. I would, be very shocked if they didn't buy this dip, but, we're still near all-time highs. And that's where I'm going to kind of get into of, the stuff that I'm seeing and just basically the setups and my ideology behind it. So yeah, let's get it going. Come on, let's get at least 50 people here and get it going here. Get it going. All right. Retweet the stream, show some love. Let's go. I know I'm starting a little bit early. Usually I started right at 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern on the dot. We are starting a few minutes early. I just want to get on here and let's get it going. All right, we got 30 people. Let's get at least 50. Come on now. It's easy work for y'all. It's easy work. These are the game plans you don't want to miss. All right, we got 40 people. You don't want to miss these game plans. We went undefeated last week, killed it. And I'm going to show you guys kind of how we do it by telling you, these plans going into, today or into this week, right? What we're going to be looking for. I know a lot of people right now are like, okay, futures are red. Things are looking red. Get ready to short on Monday. It's going to be crazy, but not so fast. Not so fast, right? Not so fast. All right, it's 50 people. Let's get it going here. So look where ES is kind of dropping, and same thing for MNQ. And I know I don't really have levels on these right here, and I'm not really paying attention to the levels. What I'm saying is just kind of look at the pattern here. A little bit of a U shape, but right back to obviously not even Friday's lows. So we're just pulling down to Friday's action. That's really about it, right? So let's go look at SPY and QQ. Obviously the main tickers we trade is SPY and QQ. Of course, we press Google, we press Amazon to breaking out. When some of those names break out, it's because we know where SPY and QQ are at. But we'll recap Friday here, right? Recap Friday. A lot of people were getting very bearish on that, Wednesday, Thursday, because we sold off. SPY held Thursday, and I made, I was streamed yesterday and kind of already talked about this, so I'll make it very quick. Look how SPY held on that Thursday. Notice, yes, we did play puts on QQ at open that went over 100%, but we did not hold all day or whatever. We hit our target, that demand target, green zone right down here. We hit that knowing we're not going to go lower, even though we do have a gap below, which I have a feeling we're likely going to hit that this week. But if this kind of sell off or pullback kind of stays like this for Q, it's possible we go for it. But anyways, we held this demand pretty nicely. We never even got under it. We wicked into it. We never, no body, no nothing. We held there. So I knew we were going to hold this and go higher on a Friday. Friday was super easy. We cashed out those Google calls at open. We ended up playing some SPY calls because SPY looked beautiful. Downtrend breakout held this. Downtrend breakout opened up outside of it and blasted into new all-time highs. Easy, 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 easy. As long as you stay patient, let the calls work. Boom, easy as that. Now we're flagging here for SPY. And I'm telling you guys this right now. Remember this, write this down. I don't care. As long as SPY holds 691, I would say 690, this demand right here. As long as we hold this demand right here, I would say bulls are very much in control. This is the same demand we opened up on Friday and held. Yes, we wicked under. It was just a wick. Bodies do the damage, or bodies tell the story. The wicks do the damage. The wicks are always going to go crazy, but the bodies are going to tell you, what's really happening in the story here. Of course, I would say I would say above 690 or at the 690 zone at this area right here. If we get a little bit lower than that, then yes, I'm going to start cautioning off on calls. But again, it held Thursday, and that would be another proxy for you to kind of look at. Is this going to hold again? Last line of defense, I like to call it. This is the last line of defense. That's 688 demand. 688 demand. I'm not considering puts unless we break that 688.05, right? We're going to be gapping down here into Monday. So chasing puts at open would be completely dumb. We now have a gap that's going to be open to the upside. We're going to be holding right now. SPY's at 691 right here in this area. We're not even at the lows of Friday. We're like midday highs of the Friday, right? That opening area. And then, that next leg up was kind of Friday's highs. We're in that just median area here. It can still, calls will still work. We hold this area in 690, we hold that. So if we end up dropping down, right, say we gap down out of this, we're gapping down, we're holding this, we're opening up here. Why would you look to rush into puts here for what? For us to somewhat come down here? In the best case scenario, you're expecting us to drop into the 688 zone and then break weekly lows and drop into that gap down there is what you're looking for on a Monday, which is crazy. Usually when we have CPI that Wednesday, or it's going to be Tuesday. So again, Monday's not going to be a breakout day. Expect us to stay in this range of Friday and Thursday. Thursday lows, Friday's highs. We're not going to go higher Monday, and we're not going to go lower unless they really are front running it. Then, of course, again, under that 688 break, I'm taking puts. Now, if we hold, we stay like this, likely low volume, they melt us right back up into area, then that's all right too. I'll play some calls for the move up. I'm not going to be sizing heavy because of, CPI is going to be Tuesday, things like that. And we can get into that right now, right? The main things you got to be looking at here, guys. CPI is Tuesday. We have PPI Wednesday. We have unemployment claims Thursday. Obviously, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will be the mover days, with Wednesday being core PPI and the ruling on Trump's tariffs, right? So that's another thing that's going to be kind of affecting. CPI is going to, I would say, overshadow a lot of this. PPI as well, and then unemployment claims. All of this is red folder news. It's going to move the market. All of this is going to be dropping before market opens. So, of course, Monday with nothing going into this, likely we're not going to be moving out of Friday's range. So we have a good amount of range, though, we can work with. Long bottoms, short tops is probably going to be the motto for tomorrow. Long bottoms, short tops, meaning don't trust kind of breaking down and breaking out. Don't kind of trust that because we need the market's just going to wait for the catalyst. That's really it. So regardless, what I'm looking for is SPY above 695 area. So I want to see us break above this. If we end up holding that 690, 691 area in this area, I want to see how well we hold it before I really start jamming calls because I want to time it well for the new all-time high break. That's it. I'm not looking for puts on SPY unless we break that 688. And even if we break that 688, then QQQ is already likely going to be breaking down here the 617, 618 demand. This demand right here. This is the demand that's going to be. I'm watching this heavily. We break that, then we're going to drop about $7 into this gap and all the way down to 611, 610. This is like a $6 drop. We're going to make money, but you have to be very careful. You got to be very careful. And how do you be very careful? You wait for confirmation. And what does waiting for confirmation mean? Waiting for confirmation means just waiting for the level to break. And then what happens there, right? You get that chart alert. It says we're there. All right. Are we opening up under it? I'm shorting it on the move down. Is it fast sniping on the move down? Assess the situation and go for it. But, recognize, when that's happening too. If it's right at open, then, it's a lot of volume is going to be coming in. If it's midday, then, that's going to be a little iffy. If it's end of day, then, maybe we're going to see a bigger move overnight. So maybe swings might work. There's going to be a little bit of factors. Just keep an eye on the levels. Now Q here though, I'm eyeing for that gap if it does end up coming. I don't mind that. It's at 622.70 right now, 622.70. So after hours right now, it's sitting right here. Notice how we're still grinding on this bigger flag. We're pretty much retesting it again at the top part of it. We have a little bit of an open gap still at 628 on that breakout level. That's what I'm really eyeing for. Like looking at this on the 4 hour, look at just crazy this looks like the U shape about to break heavily. We're already outside of that flag, the breakout. As long as we stay outside of it, this is gonna run to 630, 634, just 630 plus. I would say 633, 634 supply zone up there. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that move all the way, to move us through and make it, all-time highs and that move up there. We will see. Now, a lot of this will be kind of in between range like this where we're at right now. All of this I'm highlighting is going to be a little bit tougher to play because it's going to be squeezing in between this. Notice how we went up, down, right? Supply, buyers, right? Risk on for calls, risk off up here for calls, risk on for puts, yes. So one of these sides are going to break. Either we're going to break the bottom here and we're going to drop out and eat the gap and puts will work, or we're going to climb right back up, fill the daily gap that we're creating right now overnight, break out and run. It's going to be, and CPI is likely going to, I would say definitely control that or influence that, or that will be kind of the factor there. So very, very interesting. Also, we'll see what kind of banks are kind of talking about with their earnings. That's going to be another one as well. What are they going to do with it? So what's going to happen? So we will see about that. Very interested though. Very interested. It's going to be a very interesting week. And it's going to start fairly early because usually we have CPI Wednesday, right? And then it's like, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays is really kind of what we see. And so I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it. Let's see. I would much rather it come sooner, right? I would much rather the data drop sooner, just so we can kind of get that out the way and have a little bit more wiggle room, to be able to, play things a little bit earlier, right? Instead of having to fight with weeklies or, riskier weeklies or things like that. It's all about option selection when it really comes down to it. So pretty cool setups here. I like this, right? Next setup I'm watching is Google squeezing all-time highs. This is squeezing heavily on the 4 hour. We played that break already for a good move up, and now we're looking for the next leg up. And this is going to be something I'm going to be watching fairly early as well into the week. Let's see what happens. I like this. Google above 330.83. Expect an explosion of 335, then maybe around 340. This is only a down $1.70, so it's really at like 326 area. So inside this demand still has a lot of support. We will see kind of what happens pre-market, right? Pre-market's going to do a lot. Nvidia is only down $1.30. That's showing a little bit of strength there, right? A little bit of strength there. Tesla's only down $1 as well. Apple only down $1.80 as well, and Microsoft is down 3.5, so a little bit of weakness there. Meta is down 3, a little bit of weakness. TSM going red, down 2, has a gap down here. Keep an eye on that just in case it breaks that 316 level. Not really close to it, but maybe keep an eye on that. Again, not seeing any real selling other than SPY and Q kind of bouncing back, but if that's the case, we might just eat that daily gap right back up. So be careful with puts unless we break those levels below. We have a lot of support below us as long as SPY stays above 690. But last line defense will be 688 demand. I would even say above 688, but I call it 690 because after that, I'm going to really caution off to that 680 area, see where they hold. If they don't, we start going lower. We have that gap there, and I'm ready to tag it for that guarantee win. Guarantee win, right? And when I say I need a guarantee win, it's usually because I'm looking for gap fills. I'm looking for things where I know I've played it a million times and I know it's going to work. So I just got to stay patient. Just got to stay patient for it. I can size up on it. I can size it normal. I can do whatever. I know I'm going to win. So I don't need to shoot a million trades, right? And, you're trying to press, do everything on Monday when all of a sudden, the real move that it's an easy move to read and you bank on comes Tuesday. And all you had to do is just wait or stay patient or took one small trade, got a little win and sat back. That's usually, how it goes right there. So, we'll see kind of how Monday goes. We'll see if we play those gaps back up or if we end up kind of triggering a bigger thing. Personally, if I had to give a prediction, I don't think we break obviously Friday's highs, and I don't think we break Friday's lows. I don't think we do. I don't think we do. It's a good range here. So I don't think we do until CPI comes out or a catalyst like that. We have a few of them this week, so we'll see. We'll see about it, but I'm ready for a good setup. So we'll let kind of some of the other setups kind of start setting up as well. Amazon, I do love Amazon here. Amazon's really nice. It's been in this channel, and I expected risk off up there on Friday, as it's possible we're at the top of the channel and we're going to reject that and come right back down into the channel right here. We're seeing it after hours right now at 245. So it has broken down here and now at this demand. I would say it would probably have a little bit more to come down around 243 area. 243 area kind of hold a little bit better into that. And if it kind of stays down here, I might look for, some calls for Amazon for a move back to, 248, 249. I know we can bank off that. That's a $3 to $4 move right there. I've played this a million times, like this channel kind of range, and I like this. So we will see kind of what happens there. And we have that supply up there, so you never know. I like this. I like having channels and things like that because they definitely respect them. So I think that's the best thing about it. So if you want my trades, guys, WAP.com/Rio Capital. Join the team and get my trades. I know some of these trades are some of these setups that I'm telling you about. I'm going for them. I'm definitely going for them. And sometimes it really helps that, if you're eyeing it too, I'm eyeing it. And, you're just kind of like, I don't know when to enter it. Say you're a good trader, but, you're kind of lacking on maybe the entries and you're like, I don't know when, using me as a proxy also helps as well. Using me as kind of an indicator helps as well. If I'm like, I'm going for it too, like how are we going to lose? If you see it, I see it, and even RioCap AI sees it. If we're all alerting the same thing, if somehow we all lose, then there's nowhere to win. Then there's nowhere to win. So I don't know what to tell you. Anytime I am in a position and RioCap AI um, alerts a play, and it's the same, right? If I'm in Google calls and alerted Google calls upside, I win on it every single time. Same thing. I love it when it alerts SPY and QQ and I'm already in it. Like if I'm already seeing the move and I get into it and minutes later it alerts it, or I'm trimming a little bit and then all of a sudden it starts alerting the calls, I'm like, yes, because we're about to see a monster move on top of that. So RioCap AI is definitely, an indicator I trust probably with my life. It's the best. Now things move pretty fast, so it's all about timing and kind of how you see things in the setups you're looking for. So focus on your setups. Focus on your setups. Q's at 622 here overnight. Again, we're just in between this range. Likely, we're going to fail this like zone again, and we're just going to come back into this range again. Keep an eye on that 617.62 break. I'm looking for that move. Say we come down and then we hit this. This is going to be tough. If we do it tomorrow, it's going to be tough. We would have to really break it. And even then, I think I would have to really see us get ready to drop right into it if it happens tomorrow. Now, if it happens where, at open, we're already opening up down here and we push up a little bit and then dump, kind of like we saw on Thursday, then yeah, that's an easy win all day. I'm not scared of that. I'm going for it like that. It's the scary part is seeing the setups kind of try and fake you out and go for it on when it even it you know what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't even be going for it, right? We're about to hit CPI, we're about to get some data, we're about to get something that's going to influence the market in a way to where it's going to break us out in a direction that it chooses. It's again, so I'm not going to be looking to go for that unless the catalyst is supporting it. So again, the market has to support it as well, right? When I went for the QQ puts, really the only time I played QQ puts last week, and banked on them. Of course, we got that move. The thing was, tech was weak. There's a lot of things on our side, right? We saw Nvidia pushing right on that Thursday, same knife pushed pretty nicely. AMD pushed right downward. We saw Microsoft get pretty weak after, on that Thursday, pushed down. There was a lot of names that, Meta, same thing, knife. They're all on our side with the QQ. There's no way we're losing on that. There's no way we're sticking to our zones. And then, all these names on our side, that's what you guys gotta kind of have to look around for. And that's what I do. Well, is this a probability of me winning on this? Like, who's on my side? Am I shorting this when no one else is selling off? You got to be kind of having a little checklist before you go for it blindly, right? And that's one thing a lot of people lack to do, right? I'm seeing on Twitter people just shorting dullness, and they're getting squeezed as SPY rips to all-time highs, and they're wondering, what's going on. It's just because, dude, you're shorting near all-time highs. What do you expect? Like, all they need is to either low volume it or just hold, and you're gonna get cooked. Absolutely. Like, they're just gonna rip it to new all-time highs and continue to grind it up, and you're gonna be mad, and you're gonna be like, I don't get it, what's going on? Well, you're shorting something with strength. Like, you're shorting strength. I don't know. You attack something that's weak. If you're gonna attack something, right? If you saw AMD sell off $30 all week, right? Not one single hourly green candle, like big green candle. It's been boom, boom, boom from 232, 234, ending at 202, $30 move in the week, where at any point you took puts and sat back, you would have won on. Again, easy. Why wouldn't you have gone for that? But you're over here trying to short, a monster name, like SPY, that's just pushing. Makes zero sense. So again, have your trades make sense. Have your trades make sense. And now that you're looking at AMD, don't be like, all right, I'm gonna go for puts on AMD. This just dropped $30 in a week. I'm not saying it can't go lower, because it does have gaps below, and a massive gap from 193 all the way to like 173 when it had that OpenAI deal move, create that huge move. Does have an hourly gap around 200. I would expect it to try and retest 200. That's a major level. But again, look for the weakness. If you're going to be stabbing the weakness, you don't need to be looking for strength to stab the weakness. It makes no sense. So definitely do things that make sense. Do things that make sense, and don't ever try and force it or push the trade or do anything like that. So if you are a member as well, you are getting access to a lot of, I would say exclusive content, very exclusive content that I post to the members as well. A lot of this, I just go over my trades, right? Because there's a lot of people, Edward, that alert trades and just pump and dump on their members. And it's low float, shitty companies, right? Whatever small cap they are, low float. And they have no rhyme or reason. They don't show their face, right? They don't stream. They don't even live trade. They're in my DMs asking me about real estate and stuff, but they're flexing 50K, 30K, saying they have money and all this stuff. Come on. Like, you got to see through the facade on a lot of these people, Edward. And so that's the thing, right? I show the exclusive content, and the exclusive content is like my live streams when I am live trading, right? We bank off, my plays live trading. But then I go back on the weekends and I say, hey, this is the entries that I was looking for, and this is why we took the play and why it won. This is why, I went with the exit. This is how we won on this. And so I preach really the education, and not only just following me and making money, but I also preach the education. I want you guys to learn, because it's very important, right? A lot of people are not doing that ed word, and they're just scammers, and they're in a network of Twitter accounts that are just pumping contracts and, aligning their pockets and doing just really illegal shit. So eventually, that's going to catch up to them for sure. And they're just scammy people. They don't have no personality, they have nothing, they don't show their face. Now obviously that's not his real name. So again, people don't really have, that, I would say, background or criteria or any of the accolades like that, they can really showcase. So, and it shows, it absolutely shows. But yeah, again, some of those people are in my DMs asking me for help and asking me for things, when they're over here scamming people. So that's terrible. But anyways, I do show the content. I give you the rhyme and reason why I take things and break it down as simple as I can. So um, it's pretty good. And I love it. I love it. A lot of people can't describe it. And you gotta watch out for those people that just have no rhyme or reason why they do this. Absolutely. So good stuff. Good stuff. I know a lot of y'all DMing me as well. Appreciate y'all showing up as well. Setups. We got good setups. We got everything going and ready to go. We had a great week last week. Killed it. No misses. No pump and dump. No, none of that bullshit. Not touching low float names. We're not touching, low float names that, super cheap contracts with no volume that they're pumping. Yeah, no, we're touching big tech. We're touching our market. You don't ever see any of those people, trade QQ or, Nvidia Spy, whatever. You don't ever see them. And if they do, they're calling out the lowest of contracts. So if they hope it moves $10 a contract, they're like, oh look, we bought it for $10 and it moved $10 over 100%, guys. Like it's just gross, absolutely gross. You would never see me touching contracts as cheap as that. I have everything down to a science when it comes to me, right? I buy no more than a couple of strikes out the money if I expect it to go to that certain strike. A lot of it is based off my target, right? Where is it going on my target? And that's the best thing about it. So best thing about it, you got to be watching out, guys. Watching out. It's your money protected. A lot of these people are just preying on it. Edward just preying on you guys signing up, giving them money, and then pumping positions onto. It's nasty work. Stay away from those people because they're not preaching education. They're not preaching any of that. It's just straight up, just all for themselves. But the feds will eventually get them. They'll go to jail. They're usually not even from this country, right? They're usually trading our, I don't even know how they're doing it. How they're doing it from other countries, it's crazy. So IP address or their VPNs and stuff like that. They're doing crazy stuff. So again, they'll never show their faces, and they can try and troll and do whatever they want to do, but it doesn't really matter because I'm out here, and yeah, ain't nobody worried about people like that. Come on now. Ain't nobody worried about people like that. Shout out to 140 of y'all showing up, guys. Appreciate y'all showing up. Anyways, we got our setups. We're good to go, ready to go. I'm watching Spy QQ, really good setups here. Tomorrow, be very careful when it comes to this gap downs. We see these gap downs hold. Be very careful. Google and Amazon, you never know. I like the channel for Amazon. I'm going to see how it holds as well. Google, not even that much red. I want to see if it ends up making new all-time highs into this week. I'm ready to go. And any explosion we see at open, I'm ready for it. We catch a lot of those moves like QCOM breaking out like that. We're catching Google breaking out. We catch a lot of these push out moves. Amazon, we've been banking, and it's just all part of the strategy. We love it. Spy as well. Yeah, we love it. Good stuff. Trust the zones, recap zones. Anyways, all right. Appreciate y'all showing up, guys. Y'all on trades, watt.com/Real Capital. If you want to learn more about the organization, realcap.com. Let me know. I got y'all. DM me if y'all need anything. Everything's posted for members. Everything ready to go for tomorrow. Let's see what happens. Big week ahead. So let's do it. I'm ready to go. Anyways. All right. DM me if y'all have any questions. I appreciate y'all showing up, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good rest of y'all's night.